guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. So we are meal prepping today. It's going to be a simple meal prep. I'm going to prep, no, don't mind the messy background. We are cleaning today because it's Sunday. So Sunday's my reset day. So we have lots of cleaning going on, but I want to get my meal prep done first because it's a busy day today. Lots of stuff on my checklist. I have a Facebook group thing going on today as well. So let's get this meal prep done. Like I said, it's not going to be a very large meal prep because we are just prepping some chicken salad to have for snacks. Chicken salad is a great low-calorie, high-protein snack. I'll be having those with these multi-grain crisp breads. Love these. We'll also just be cutting up some. I have a cantaloupe and a watermelon. I want to get that cut up so we have some nice fruit. I love to have watermelon, cantaloupe in the summertime, and strawberries. I bought a big thing of strawberries. Those are like my favorite fruits. Oh, and then also these. I don't know, for some reason, like, apples to me is more of a fall, I have a ton of apples right now, but I'm not like feeling appley right now. So I actually may turn those apples into like a do like some sort of topping for yogurt or something. Actually, I think I'm gonna add that to today's meal prep. I think I'm gonna do like an apple like topping, you know, just put these in my Instant Pot, something like that. I'm not sure. I know I have a recipe for that. So there we go. We're going to add that to our list, and that way I get rid of my apples, and that'll be good for yogurt. And then, oh, that would be good for this too. So I got this cinnamon toast cereal that I'm going to add to yogurt bowls. So with this, with like the cinnamon apples with the yogurt, oh my gosh, what a great snack that would be. I don't think I have any plain non-fat Greek yogurt. I'm going to have to get some because I think I just have flavored yogurt. So anyway, so I'm going to make some chicken salad for a snack. I guess we're going to make some cinnamon apples as well. We're going to do a low-carb chicken taco casserole. So y'all know, if you've been around for a while, you know my regular low-carb taco casserole, which I love. That same website now has a chicken one on there. So we're going to give that a try. And then I'm going to make a veggie wrap filling. So I went to this place with a coworker and I had this veggie wrap. It was humongous. And the filling, oh my goodness, it was so good. So you'll see all the ingredients that's going to go into that. I'm just going to prep just the base part of it. I was going to add the lettuce in, but I don't think I'm going to, but I'll show you the lettuce. And I actually think I'll end up having one of those for lunch today. So I'll show it to you all compiled, but I just thought if I already had all the filling for it, then there's no excuse not to have it. And it won't seem, because you'll see there's a ton of stuff in it. So you'll see why I'm prepping this ahead of time. So I'm going to do that, and that'll be this week's meal prep. So let's go ahead and get everything out, and I will show you everything as I go along. So this recipe is the Scoopable Apple Pie from Hungry Girls. So we're going to do it in the crock pot. So I have all my apples here. It says you need about 8 cups of apples. So this was probably 5 large Honeycrisp apples. Then you're going to need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 to 3 tablespoons of sweetener, whatever you'd like. This is the erythritol stevia blend from Pure. You need lemon juice, but I don't have any, so I'm going to try one of these lemon, True Lemon packets, which is just crystallized lemon. So we're going to try that. I think the lemon is just to make it from getting brown, but I'm not positive. So you have that, kind of like a pinch of salt. You need about 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. The recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, but I like a lot more cinnamon, so I usually do about 1 tablespoon. And then you need 3/4 cups of water, and you'll mix the cornstarch with that. So we're going to put this in the crock pot, mix our cornstarch and our water, and then we'll just put everything else on top of the apples. So I have the cornstarch water mixture here, so we're just going to pour that all over the apples. I'm going to stir that around. And this will make a good topping for yogurt, or you could just eat it on its own. Put some like sugar-free Cool Whip or something on top. We're going to add in, just going to sprinkle this crystallized lemon on top. Probably could just put it in water and make it kind of into lemon juice, but I think that was only, what was it? Oh, it was 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So I'm going to use a couple more of these, I think, just to make sure we get enough of the lemon. Okay. Then I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of the sweetener. Again, use whatever. If you want to use regular sugar, that's fine. I'm just going to do a sprinkle of this nutmeg, probably be about a 1/4 teaspoon or so. And we'll just do a pinch of salt. And then, like I said, I like to do a lot more cinnamon than what her recipe calls for, so I usually just do about a tablespoon. And then I'm going to stir this all up, and this is going to cook on high for 1.5 hours in your slow cooker. You could put it in the Instant Pot, but I find the apples to get almost too kind of mushy in the Instant Pot when I do it that way. So I just personally like to just do the slow cooker method. So like I said, I'm going to put this on high for about 1.5 hours, and it'll be ready to go. And here is the Scoopable Apple Pie. So again, this is a really good topping for plain non-fat Greek yogurt, for cottage cheese. If you have a creamy and you make like a plain like protein vanilla ice cream, you can put this on top. There's a lot of things you can do with this, or like I said, you can just eat it on its own, add a little bit of sugar-free Cool Whip, and there you go. So I will have this recipe linked down below. So here's everything I'm going to put in my veggie wraps. So I'm not going to add this to the mixture until when I have the actual wrap. So this is just, I have some spring mix and then also some of this fresh herb salad. So I'll mix both of them together with this mixture. The rest of this will hold up pretty well in the refrigerator, and actually it'll probably taste better like marinating in the dressing. So like I said, this was inspired by a wrap that I had locally, so I'm going to see if I can replicate it. So we have, again, some of the Skinny Girl balsamic vinaigrette. We have some of the pepperoncini rings. These are already sliced up. We have some whole artichokes that's in water. Garbanzo beans. We have some olives. Now it had black olives, but I only have green in there. And then I have some reduced fat provolone cheese. I'll use a half of the red bell pepper, half of the green. I'm saving the other halves for a recipe. And then I have about 1/4 of a red onion that I will put in there. So I'm just gonna dice these up pretty finely, dice up the rest of this, drain and rinse the beans, and we'll just toss those in there and won't worry about cutting those up or anything. We'll dice up the cheese, and then we'll just add on some dressing. And I'll just kind of add a little bit, and then when I have the wrap, then I'll kind of add more if I feel like it needs more. So let's go ahead and get all this stuff chopped up and toss the salad together. So here is everything all chopped up. So we have our garbanzo beans all drained and rinsed. So I used 3 slices of the reduced fat provolone cheese. I used 12 olives, and I will put those in the tracker. I'm going to put this in as 3 servings. And then here are my chopped veggies. I used my chopper for that. Now I tasted this since I've never had it before. It's a little bit sweet, so I think I'm just going to start with a tablespoon, mix it around, and maybe at the most put 2 tablespoons in to start. And again, when I eat it after it's been kind of sitting here for a while, over the next couple of days in my refrigerator, if I feel like I need to add more, I will. But for now, I think we're just gonna go with at the most 2 tablespoons. I'm also going to add in some Italian herbs to this, just to add in a little bit of seasoning, because I'm not sure what they used on it. And then I'm going to add some salt and pepper for sure. And I did end up using 2 tablespoons of that dressing. And here we go. So if I end up having this today before I edit this video, I will put a wrap together and just show you what it looks like with the lettuce and everything. So you can kind of see the finished product. If I don't end up having it today, then you will definitely see it next week in my regular weekly video. So I just remembered that wrap also had heirloom tomatoes, which I don't have any of those. So I'm just going to slice up some of these little mini tomatoes. I feel like the larger one, I do have 1 large tomato, but I feel like it may make it a little bit soggy unless I took everything out of the center, but I think this will be okay. So I'm going to add these tomatoes in, and then here on the screen I will have what the points in calories and protein is. It's not going to be a very high protein meal, the wrap, since I get the low carb wraps, they have a little bit more protein in them. It'll have a little bit, but I may just like pair it with like a yogurt or something like that, just so I can get the extra protein in. But I'll get a little bit in there with the garbanzo beans as well. You could even add extra beans in there if you wanted to get the extra protein. I think that like the cannellini beans or even like kidney beans would be a good one in this type of meal. So I'm just gonna slice these up, and like I said, here on the screen I will have all the stats for this. And here is the finished on a little veggie wrap salad. So I ended up adding in 2 of these seedless mini cucumbers to this vegetable mixture. I'm pretty sure that the wrap I had also had a cucumber in it. So I thought while I was chopping up veggies, I'm just gonna go ahead and add some of that in there as well. So I will put a list down in the description box of everything that I put in this, since I kind of started adding in things later on and I don't have a recipe to link. So I will just list out this entire recipe down in the description box. For the last thing I'm going to make today is going to be a low-carb chicken taco casserole. So we have some diced chicken here. The original recipe I'm going to link down below has you shredding the chicken, but I think I'm just going to keep it diced. So I just diced it up. I'm going to cook this in a pan with some of this Kinder's taco blend. And then we are going to take that out of there. Then we're going to pan fry the rice cauliflower. I like pan frying it because it kind of takes all the moisture out of it. So I'll pan fry this with also some of this taco blend. The original recipe has you using taco seasoning, which I'll use a little bit of that at the end. So once this is cooked and this is cooked, then we are going to toss it all together in a bowl with a can of Rotel tomatoes. And then at that point, I'll add in a little bit of taco seasoning. And we'll just toss that all together, put it in my little individual casserole dishes, and we'll top it with some of this reduced fat cheese, and then put it in a 350-degree oven for about 15-20 minutes, just until the cheese has melted. These are the containers I use to cook my lunches in. I get a lot of questions about using these. A lot of you have these and you wondered about cooking them with the silicone on there. I did look up on their website. This is the Elo brand. I got these at Costco, but you can also get them on Amazon. But I did look on their website and it says you can cook them in this silicone. So it's just like the same silicone that the like muffin pans and things like that are made of now. But make sure you do take off the lid, because the lid of course is plastic. So yeah, these are super convenient, and they can be in the oven, I think up to 450 degrees or something is what it said. So anyway, yeah, but I do like to put these on like a baking sheet, just so it's easier to get in and out of the oven, and then that way it's just not directly on the rack. It doesn't say to do that, but that's just what I prefer to do. I will have a similar one linked down below in the description box, so I'm not sure if Costco still carries these or not. Chicken is all done. I am doing the cauliflower right now. I usually cook the cauliflower until it just starts to get a little bit brown. It just gets really dry kind of looking, you'll know. And that's usually I wait to add any seasoning to it till then too, because it's kind of hard to tell how brown it's getting if you put seasoning on it. Alrighty, the rice is done. So now I'm going to open up the can of Rotel. I'm not going to drain it or anything, just add it all in there with some of my homemade taco seasoning. If you want to see how I make this, look up my DIY spice blend. So we'll mix all that up, and then we'll put in our containers that we're going to spray with cooking spray, and then we'll top it with some cheese. Here's my mixture. So I added in a tablespoon of the taco seasoning. Again, I will have the recipe linked down below, so you'll see how much the original recipe, how much they used in that. So I'm going to go ahead and divide this, divided by these 3 bowls. Everything in here is 0 points, so except for the cheese, which I will weigh out the cheese, so I'm not going to really worry about weighing this out too precisely. But the cheese, I will weigh out a serving of cheese on top of both of them, all 3 of them. These are ready to go in the oven. I'll probably cook them for about 15 minutes. Everything's cooked, so it's really just getting the cheese melted and just kind of getting everything, all the flavors mixed together. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in there. I put 1 serving of cheese, so that's 28 grams of cheese on top of each of these. And the low carb chicken taco casseroles are done. I will eat this the same way that I do the other one that you make with like ground beef or ground chicken, ground turkey. So the layered ones. I will have both of those recipes linked down below because they're both really good, this one and then the other one. But I plan on topping this with some shredded lettuce, some salsa, guacamole, plain non-fat Greek yogurt, onions. So you can just top it with whatever you want. But here are the finished little casseroles. And let's go ahead and do a snapshot of everything that we prepped this week. The last thing I'm going to do is just cut up some of this fruit and a few veggies here. I'll be mostly having these. I have some carrots already in the refrigerator, and I'm just going to have carrots and cucumbers for snacks this week, and I will have some bell peppers probably left over for after dinners. And then I'm going to cut up this fruit and have that for snacking, and then this green onion I like to toss on salads and whatnot. So right now I only ended up cutting up the watermelon since there was so much, so I'll just cut this one up later in the week. We have our strawberries. I already put away my cucumbers, and we have our green onions. Here is everything that we prepped. So again, we have the low carb chicken taco casserole. We have our veggie wrap mixture, our scoopable apple pie, and then of course our fruit. And like I said, I already had veggies in the refrigerator from last week, so we have our strawberries that I'll use for yogurt or just to snack on, and then we have our watermelon, and then just some onions here. So that is everything. Again, I will have everything linked down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.